way. Well, he ain't above giving lessons. I heard him say so himself. And if my money's not good enough, I can go elsewhere.
Good enough for what?
Good enough for you. There, now you know what I come for, don't you? I come to have lessons and to pay for them too, make no mistake. I want to be a lady in a flower shop, so I stand them on the corner of Tottenham Court Road. But they won't take me until I can speak more genteel. Well, he said he could teach me, so here I am, ready to pay.
How can you be such a foolish and ignorant girl as to think that you could afford to pay Mr. Higgins?
Why shouldn't I? I know that lessons cost just the same as you do, and I'm ready to pay.
How much?
Now you're talking. I thought you'd come around once you had a chance to get back what you chucked at me last night.
Sit down.
Well, if you're gonna make a compliment of it.
Sit down.
Sit down, girl. Do as you're told.
Oh,
Won't you sit down?
don't mind if I do.
What's your name?
Liza Doolittle.
And how much, Miss Doolittle, do you propose to pay me for these lessons?
Oh, I know it's right. A lady friend of mine takes French lessons for 18 pence an hour from a real Frenchman. But you wouldn't have the face to ask me to pay the same for teaching me my language, so I won't pay more than a shilling. Take it or leave it.
You know, Grace, if you consider a shilling not as a simple shilling, but as a percentage of this gross income, it works out to fully equivalent of 60 or 70 guineas from the millionaire.
How so?
Figure it out. A millionaire has about £150 a day. She earns about half a crown.
Why?
She offers me 2/5 of her day's income. 2/5 of a millionaire's income? Somewhere around £60. It's handsome. By George, it's enormous. It is the biggest offer I have ever had.
£60? I never offered you £60!
Hold your tongue.
Don't cry. Sit down.
I ain't got £60!
Nobody is going to touch your money.
Somebody is going to touch you with a broomstick if you don't stop sniveling.
What's this for?
It's to wipe your eyes. And it's to wipe any part of your face that feels moist. Please. Yes, this is your handkerchief. That's your shawl. Do not mistake the one for the other.
It's no use talking to her like that, Mr. Higgins. She doesn't understand you.
Give it back! You gave it to me, not to you!
And, sisters, I think it must be regarded as her property.
Serve you right, Mr. Higgins.
Higgins, last night you said you could pass this girl off as a duchess in 6 months. I'll say you're the greatest teacher alive if you can make that good. I'll bet you all the expense of the experiment you can't do it. And I'll pay for the lessons.
It's almost irresistible. She's so deliciously low. So horribly dirty.
I ain't dirty! I washed my face and hands before I got my dip!
You're certainly not going to turn her head with flattery, Higgins.
There are more than one ways of turning a girl's head. I do hope, sir, that you won't encourage him to do anything foolish.
I'll do it. I'll do it. In 6 months. In 3 if she has a good ear and a quick tongue. I'll take her anywhere and pass her off as anything. We'll start today, right now. Take her away and clean her, Mrs. Pierce.
Yes, but
take all their clothes off and burn them. Then go quietly to somebody for new ones. Wrap her up in brown paper till they come.
Oh, you ain't no gentleman, you ought not to be talking to such things! Oh, I'm a good girl I am!
And now you must learn to speak and behave like a duchess. Take away, Mrs. Pierce. If she gives you any trouble, wallop her.
I've no place to put her.
Put her in the dustbin.
Come, Higgins, be reasonable.
Do be reasonable, Mr. Higgins. You can't walk over everybody like this.
I walk over everybody. My dear Mrs. Pierce, my dear Pickering, I had no intention whatsoever of walking over anybody. All I propose is that we be kind to this poor girl and help her to prepare herself for her new station in life.
Well, have you ever heard anything like that, sir?
Never, Mrs. Pierce. Never.
Sir, you can't take a girl up like that, as if picking a pebble up off a beach.
Why not?
Why, you don't know anything about this girl. She may be married.
Ah, they marry me!
Yes, the girl so very properly says, gone. Married indeed. Goodbye, George Eliza. The streets will be strewn with the bodies of men, shooting themselves for your sake before I'm done with you.
Nonsense, sir. You mustn't talk like that to her.
Very well, Mrs. Pierce. You order her any new clothing. Throw her out.
Oh, no! I don't want no clothes! Look at my own clothes! I would have taken them anyways!
Oh, you're an ungrateful, wicked girl. This is my return for offering to take you out of the gutter and dress you beautifully and make a lady out of you.
Oh, stop it, Mr. Higgins. I won't allow it. Go home to your parents, girl, and tell them to take better care of you.
I ain't got no parents. They turned me out, told me I was big enough to take care of myself.
Where's your mother?
I ain't got no mother. That turned me out was my sick stepmother, and I'm never enough without them. And I'm a good girl too.
You see, she doesn't belong to anybody. And she's no use to anybody except me. Now don't make any more fuss. Take her away and clean her up.
But is she to be paid any wages? And what is to become of her when she's finished her when you've finished your teaching? You must look ahead a little.
If we pay her, she'll drink. She'll have her food and her clothing.
Oh, you are a brute! It's a lie. Nobody ever saw the sign of liquor on me.
Does it occur to you, Higgins, that the girl has some feelings?
No, I don't think so. Not any we need bother about. Have you, Eliza?
Yes! I've got feelings just the same as you do!
Will you please keep to the point, Mr. Higgins? What is to become of her when you finish your teaching?
What's to become of her if I leave her in the gutter?
That's her own business, not yours, Mr. Higgins.
Well, when I'm done with her, we can throw her back in the gutter.
There!
And then it will be her own business again.
Now, I'm done. I'm going. You all ought to be ashamed of yourselves.
Hey, Eliza, have some chocolates.
I would have ate it. Only I'm too daylight to take it on my mouth.
You're tempting the girl. It isn't right. She should think of the future.
At her age? Nonsense. Time enough to think of the future when she hasn't any future to think of. No, Mrs. Pierce. Eliza, do as this lady does. Think of everyone else's futures and never about your own. Think of chocolates and taxis and gold and diamonds.
No! I don't want no gold and no diamonds. I'm a good girl I am.
And you shall remain so under the care of Mrs. Pierce.
I must interfere, Higgins. Mrs. Pierce is quite right. If this girl is to put herself in your hands for an experiment in teaching for 6 months, she must understand thoroughly what she is doing.
No use explaining. As a military man, you want to know that. Give her orders. That's what she wants. Eliza, you're to live here for the next 6 months, learning to speak beautifully, like a lady in a flower shop. If you're good and do whatever you're told, you shall have a proper bedroom to sleep in, lots to eat, and money to buy chocolates and to take rides in taxis. If you're not an idol, you should sleep in the back kitchen among the black beetles and be walloped by Mrs. Pierce with a broomstick. At the end of 6 months, you should go to Buckingham Palace in a carriage, beautifully dressed. If the king finds out that you are not queen, the queen finds out that you are not a lady, you will be taken to the Tower of London, where your head will be cut off as a warning to other presumptuous flower girls. But if you are not found out, you shall have a present of 7 and 6 to start life with as a lady in a flower shop. If you refuse this generous offer, you will be a most ungrateful and wicked girl. And the angels will wait for you. Now are you satisfied, Pygmalian? Can I put it more plainly or fairly, Mrs. Pierce?
I think you'd better let me speak to the girl properly in private. Come with me, Eliza.
Very good, Mrs. Pierce. Bundle her up to the bathroom.
I won't be bundled up! I'm a
Speak
good...
back to the gentleman. You don't understand her.
Oh, if I didn't know what I was getting myself in for, I wouldn't have come! I'm a good girl I am, and I don't owe him nothing! I won't be bundled about!
Of course, dear.
Ma'am?
This is Eliza. She will be staying with us for a little while. She needs a bath and a good scrubbing. Lots of soap, my dear.
Yes, ma'am. What am I, dear? Oh my God, what is this? I'm actually scared of the mirror. A mirror? A child? I've seen a mirror before. I want to make a noise too. Let me go! Hey, fix it! Of course it's decent.
Women look at this every day. That will hurt you.
Excuse a straight question, Higgins. Are you a man of good character where women are concerned?
Have you ever met a man of good character where women are concerned?
Yes, very frequently.
Well, I haven't. I find the moment a woman makes friends with me, she becomes jealous, exacting, suspicious, and a nuisance. I find the moment I let myself make friends with a woman, I become selfish and tyrannical. Women upset everything.
Come, Higgins, you know what I mean. If I'm to take any part in this business, I shall feel responsible for the girl.
That thing? I have taught scores of American marionettes to speak. The best looking women in the world. Well, Mrs. Pierce, is it all right?
Yes, sir. I just hoped I might have a word.
Certainly, come in. Don't burn that, Mrs. Pierce. I'll keep it as a curiosity.
Oh, handle it carefully, sir, please. I had to promise her not to burn it, but I should probably put it in the oven for a little while at least.
Certainly. Well, what have you to say to me?
You really must not swear before the girl.
I swear. I never swear. I detest the habit. What the flip do you mean? Very well. Is that all?
No, sir. We must be very careful with this girl as to personal cleanliness.
Certainly. Quite right. Open for him.
I mean, not in leaving things lying about.
Just so.
And might I ask, sir, that you not come down to breakfast in your dressing gown? Or, at any rate, not use it as a napkin to the extent that you do. And might I ask that you not eat all the food off of the serving platter? It would be a good example to the girl.
I may do these things sometimes in absence of mind. But surely I don't do them habitually.
Oh, please, sir, if you'll wipe your fingers.
Oh, very well. I shall wipe them in my hair in the future.
I do hope that you're not offended, sir.
Not at all. You're quite right, Mrs. Pierce. I shall be particularly careful of my mannerisms before the girl. Is that all?
No, sir. Might you borrow some of the dresses that you brought from abroad? I really can't find the package.
Certainly, anything you like. That's all.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Pickering, that woman has the most extraordinary ideas about me. Here I am, a shy, diffident sort of man. Yet she's firmly persuaded that I'm an arbitrary, bossy, ill-mannered, overbearing type of person. I can't account for it.
Now, Eliza, tell me if the water's hot enough. No, I won't get in, I tell you.
Of course you'll get in. Proper women take baths every day, don't you?
I never had a bath in my life.
Come, Eliza, don't you want to be sweet and clean and smell like a lady?
I'm a good girl, I am.
You can't be a good girl on the inside if you're a filthy girl on the outside. Now take off your dang clothes and get in the bath.
No, I won't do it. I tell you it ain't decent.
Of course it's decent. Don't you change your clothes every night before you go to bed?
No, I got you chill.
Oh, my. Now, be a good girl and swab yourself down in this nice, warm water.
I'll drown.
You won't drown from hardly getting you wet.
Oh, help! I never done such a thing in my life!
I've never struggled so in my life. Even my little ones take a bath better than that. In a wash tub in the kitchen.
I don't know about this.
Professor,
Taking on a girl like her. Imagine the professor taking on any girl at all.
if you please, sir, Mr. Dustin downstairs, Alfred Doolittle, wants to see you. He said you have his daughter here.
Send him up.
Very well, sir.
I'm afraid you shall have some trouble with him.
No. If there is any trouble to be had, it is him with me, not I with him. And we're sure to get something interesting out of him.
About the girl.
No, his dialect.
Mr. Doolittle, sir.
Percy Higgins.
Good morning.
Good morning, Governor. Oh, I've come about a very serious matter.
Brought him in Hanslow. Mother Welsh, I should think. Well, what do you want, Doolittle?
I want my dog.
Of course. She's upstairs. Take her away at once.
What?
Take her away.
Oh, now, you listen here. Girl belongs to me. You got it. Where do I come in?
Your daughter had the audacity to come to my house and ask me to give her lessons on how to speak beautifully, like a lady in a flower shop. How dare you come here and attempt to blackmail me?
I've always said a word about money. I've asked your brass farthing.
Well, what did you come here for then? How did you know she was here?
I'll tell you, if you don't let me get a word in. I'm willing to tell you. I'm wanting to tell you. I am waiting to tell you.
Pickering, this man has a certain natural gift of rhetoric. Observe the rhythm of his native wood notes wild. I'm willing to tell you. I'm wanting to tell you. I'm waiting to tell you. Sentimental rhetoric. That's the Welsh strain of him. It also accounts for his dishonesty. Oh,
But how did you know she was here if you didn't send her?
Well, it was like this, Governor. The girl took a boy in a taxi for a jaunt. He hung about in the chance that she'd give him another ride. Well, she sent him back for her luggage, and I met him when he told me what's up. Now I ask you, what are my feelings and duty as a father? I just brought luggage to oblige you and make myself agreeable. That's all.
But why did you bring her luggage if you intended to take her away?
Have I said a word about taking her away? Have I now?
you're going to take her away.
Double quick.
Oh, no, don't say that, Governor.
This is Eliza's father. He's come to take her away. Bring her to him.
No, don't. This is a misunderstanding. Listen
He
here.
can't take her away, Mr. Higgins. I'm afraid we've burned all her clothes.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I can't carry her through the streets like a blooming monkey, can I?
Take your daughter. If she has no clothes, buy her some.
Where's the coach coming? Did I burn them? Or did you miss us?
Please, sir, we have sent for some clothes for your girl. When they come, you may take her away. You can wait in the kitchen this way, please.
Listen here, Governor. You and me is men of the world, ain't we?
Oh, men of the world, are we? You'd better go, miss.
I think so indeed, sir.
The floor is yours, Mr. Doolittle.
Oh, thank you kindly, Governor. Well, truth is, Governor, I've taken a sort of fancy to you. And if you want the girl, I might be open to an arrangement. Well, she's a fine, handsome girl, and I can't be expected to let her go for nothing. Well, what's £5 to you? What's lies to me?
You should be aware that Mr. Higgins' intentions are entirely honorable.
Oh, of course they are. If I thought there wasn't, oh, that's 50.
To say, you callous rascal, that you would sell your daughter for £50?
Have you no morals, man?
No, can't afford any. Neither could you if you're as poor as me. Not that I'm any harm. It's just if Wives is going to get something out of it, why not me too?
I don't know what to do, Pickering. There can be no question that as a matter of morals, it's a positive crime to give this chap a farthing.
Oh, don't say that, Governor. I'm one of the undeserving poor, I am. Think of what it means to a man. I don't need less than a deserving man. I need more. I don't eat less high than him, and I drink a lot more. I want a bit of amusement, because I'm a thinking man. What's middle-class morality? Just the excuse to never give me nothing. I'm pretending to be deserving, I'm undeserving. And I mean to go on being undeserving. Is £5 unreasonable?
Pickering, if you were to take this man in hand for 6 months, he could choose between a seat in the cabinet and a popular pulpit in Wales.
What do you say to that, Doolittle?
Oh, no, not me, Governor. Undeserving poor is my life.
We must give him a fiver.
They'll make bad use of it, I'm afraid.
Oh, no, not me, Governor. Don't you worry, they'll spare it and live idle on it. There won't be a penny of it left by Monday.
Let's give him 10.
Oh, no. 10 is a lot of money. You give me what I ask for, not a penny more, not a penny less.
Pickering, if we listen to this man another minute, we shall have no convictions left. 5 pounds, I think you said?
Like economy.
Sure you won't take 10?
Not now. Another time. Like economy, Governor. Morning, Governor. Oh, beg your pardon.
God, don't you know you're a dog?
Blimey! It's Liza!
Don't I look silly?
Silly.
Oh, please don't say anything to make the girl conceited about herself.
Oh, poor man.
Please, sir.
I mean, extremely silly.
Oh, well, I should look all right once I have my hat on.
Well, I never thought she cleaned up that good. She's a creation.
Well, cleaning up seems easy. You've got hot and cold water, just as much as you like. Woolly towels there is. And a towel hot so hot it burns. Brushes to scrub yourself. It's no wonder ladies are so clean. Washing's a treat for them. Not for me.
Have you any further advice to give her before you go, Doolittle? Next time you see her, she might be so changed you won't recognize her at all.
Not recognize my own dad. No. So long, Liza.
The new things have come for Eliza to try on.
No! I ain't changing again! No! Stop rushing! It be lovely.
According to some, she should be taken out and hung for the cold-blooded murder of the English tongue.
Sir, you sound a little Scrooge-ish.
Bah humbug!
As in, father. Try the E's.
As in machine.
Talking is all he'll do.
Now, Liza, you see these 3 grapes? I'm going to put them in your mouth. 1, 2, 3. Now, don't be alarmed. This is just an exercise. I want you to repeat clearly after me. The banes and blains do strain and pain the brain. Now you try it.
I swallowed one.
Oh, don't worry. I have plenty more.
Talking until she's blue.
Addington, Hamilton, Paddington, Hatfield.
Addington, Halifax, Addington, Atfield.
Again, do it again. You work hard.
I'll try.
All right. Again.
With a little bit, with a little bit, with a little bit of bloomin' luck.
It takes a little bit more than luck. It takes time and effort and hard work to carve a whole new person.
Especially someone who's as set in stone as Eliza.
You got that right. In one scene, they're up all night long, talking and talking and talking. It's no wonder she sings. Words, 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 I'm so sick of words. I get words all day through, first from him, now from you. Is that all you blighters can do?
What's a blighter?
It's an English word, a name you call someone who's irritating you.
I should use it on my brother. He may think it's a compliment.
doing here today? It is my at-home day. You promised not to come.
Oh.
Go home at once.
I can't. There's something I need you to do for me.
But you mustn't. I'm serious, Henry. You offend all my friends. They stop coming whenever they meet you.
Nonsense. I know I have no small talk, but people don't mind.
Oh, don't they? Small talk indeed. But what about your large talk? Really, dear, you mustn't stay.
I must. I have a job for you. A phonetics job.
No use, dear. I'm sorry. I can't get round your vowels.
Well, it isn't a phonetics job.
You said it was.
Not your part of it. You see, I have picked up a girl.
A girl? You don't mean to say some girl has picked you up?
No. I don't mean a love affair.
What a pity.
Why?
Well, you never fall in love.
Oh, I can't be bothered with young women. They're all idiots.
You know what you would do if you really loved me, Henry?
Marry, I suppose.
No. Take your hands out of your pockets and stop fidgeting. That's a good boy. Now tell me about the girl.
She's coming to see you.
I don't remember asking her.
You didn't. I did. If you'd known her, you wouldn't have asked her.
Indeed? Why?
Well, because she's a common flower girl that I picked up out of the gutter.
And invited her to my at-home?
Oh, that's all right. It'll be perfect, because I have taught her to speak properly. She has strict, very, very strict orders as to her speech. She is to stick to 2 subjects: the weather and everybody's health. Fine day. How do you do? And so on. That ought to be safe.
Safe? To talk about our health? To talk about our insides? Perhaps about our outsides? How could you be so silly, Henry?
Well, she must talk about something. Oh, it'll be all right, Mother. Don't you fuss. Pickering is in it with me. I have a sort of bet that I can pass her off as a duchess in 6 months. She has a good ear, and she has been easier to teach than my middle-class pupils because she's had to learn a completely new language.
That's satisfactory at all events.
Well, it is and it isn't.
What does that mean?
You see, I've got her pronunciation right. But you have to consider not just how a girl pronounces, but what she pronounces. And that's where we're having technicalities.
Mrs. and Miss Einsford Hill.
How do you do?
My son, Henry.
Your celebrated son. I have so longed to meet you, Professor Higgins. How do you do, sir?
I've seen you somewhere before. I haven't the ghost of a notion where,
Henry!
but I suppose it doesn't matter. You'd better sit down.
I'm sorry to say that my celebrated son has no manners. You mustn't mind him.
I don't. Not at all.
Oh, have I been rude? I didn't mean to be.
Colonel Pickering.
So glad you've come. Do you know Mrs. Einsford Hill and Miss Einsford Hill?
Mr. Einsford Hill.
Another of them?
How do you do?
Colonel Pickering.
How do you do?
I don't believe you know my son, Professor Higgins.
How do you do?
I've seen you somewhere before. Where was it?
I don't think so. Vicar Jones.
Oh, not him.
So glad you've come to join us. We may need a dose of morality this evening.
Now, what the devil are we going to talk
Henry,
about?
please!
I sympathize with you, Mr. Higgins. I haven't any small talk. If people would only be frank and say what they really think.
Heaven forbid!
But why?
What they think they ought to think is bad enough. What they really think would spoil the whole show.
Are your thoughts so very cynical?
Cynical? Who the dickens said it was cynical? I mean, it wouldn't be decent.
Sir, I'm sure you don't mean that.
You see, we're all savages, more or less. We're supposed to be civilized and cultured. To know all about poetry and philosophy and art and science. But how many of us actually know the meaning of those names? What do you know of poetry? What do you know of science? What does he know of art or science or anything else? What the dickens do you imagine I know of philosophy?
Or of manners, Henry?
Miss Doolittle.
Here she is, Mother.
How do you do? Mr. Higgins said I might come.
Quite right. I'm very glad indeed to meet you.
I feel sure we have met before, Miss Doolittle. I remember your eyes.
How do you do?
My daughter, Clara.
How do you do?
How do you do? And my son, Freddie.
How do you do?
Of course! It all comes back to me now. Covent Garden.
Henry
Sorry.
and Vicar Jones.
How do you do?
Pleasure, Miss Doolittle.
I am sorry I was late. I was watching the clouds in the east.
Oh yes. Will it rain, do you think?
The shallow depression in the west of these isles is likely to slowly move in an easterly direction. There is no great indication of being any changes in the biomedical situation. Hey, what are you laughing at? I bet I got it right.
Killing. Mr. Hill.
Well, I hope it won't turn cold. There's so much influenza about. It runs right through my whole family regularly every spring.
My aunt died of influenza, so they say. But what call would a woman of her strength have to die of influenza when she came right enough through diphtheria the year before? Quite blue with it she was. Everybody thought she was dead, but my father kept ladling gin down her throat till she came to so suddenly she bit the bowl off the spoon.
Dear me!
Now what call would a woman of her stature have to die of influenza? And what became of her new straw hat that was to come to me? Somebody pinched it. Yes! Stolen, swiped, lifted, purloined. I learned that one this morning.
Oh my.
What I say is them who pinched it done her in.
Done her in.
But what does doing her in mean?
That's the new small talk. To do a person in means to kill them.
Mr. Higgins.
You surely don't believe your aunt was killed.
Do I not? Them she lived with would have killed her for a hatpin, let alone a hat.
That indeed.
Henry.
But it can't have been right for your father to pour spirits down his throat like that. It might have killed her.
Oh, not her! Gin was mother's milk to her. Besides, he poured so much down his own throat he knew the good of it.
Do you mean that he drank?
Drank my word, something chronic!
Oh, how dreadful for you!
Dreadful, dreadful.
Oh, not at all. It never did him no harm what I could see. And what I always... What are you laughing at?
The new small talk. You do it so awfully well.
If I was doing it proper, what was you laughing at? Have I said anything I oughtn't?
Well,
Not at all, Miss Doolittle.
Oh, that's a relief. What I always said. Well, I must be going. So
I was hoping you would walk into the park. If so,
Walk? Not bloody likely. I'm going home in a taxi.
I'm afraid I really can't get used to the new ways.
That's all right, Mama. Quite right. People will think we never go anywhere or see anyone if we are so old-fashioned.
I dare say I'm very old-fashioned, but I do hope you won't begin to use that expression, Clara. It is horrible and unladylike. Don't you think so, Colonel?
It's hard for me to tell. I've been away in India for so long, I can hardly tell whether I'm at a respectable dinner table or in a ship's forecastle.
I find the new small talk delightful, quite innocent. Things are changing, Mother.
Well, I am not changing with it. I think it's time we go.
Goodbye, Mrs. Higgins. Goodbye. Goodbye, Mr. Higgins. Goodbye, Colonel Pickering. Goodbye, Vicar Jones.
Goodbye. And, be sure to try on that new small talk. Don't be nervous about it. Pitch it in strong.
I will. All this early Victorian prudery.
Such nonsense.
Such bloody nonsense!
well, goodbye.
Goodbye. Would you like to meet Miss Doolittle again?
Well, yes, I should. Most awfully. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Higgins.
Well, is Eliza presentable?
Of course she's not presentable. She's a triumph of your art and of her dressmakers. She gives herself away in every sentence she utters.
But don't you think something might be done? I mean, to eliminate the gutter element from her conversation.
Not as long as she's in Henry's hands.
Do you mean to say that my language is improper?
No, dearest, it would be quite proper to say on a canal barge. But it would not be proper for her to garden party. Colonel, will you tell me the exact state of things in Wimple Street? Where does this girl live?
With us, of course. Where else would she live?
But on what terms? Is she a servant? If not, what is she?
She's useful. She knows where my things are, and what time my appointments are and such.
How does your housekeeper get on with her?
Mrs. Pierce. Ugh. She has some silly bee in her bonnet about Eliza. She's always saying, "You don't think, sir." Doesn't she, Vic?
Yes, that's the formula. You don't think so. That's the end of every conversation about Eliza.
As if I ever stop thinking about her. I'm worn out thinking about her. And watching her lips, and her teeth, and her tongue. Not to mention her soul, which is the quaintest of the lot.
You two are a pretty pair of babies playing with your live doll.
Playing? It is the hardest job I have ever tackled. But you have no idea how frightfully interesting it is to take a human being and transform her into completely a different human being. It's filling up the deepest gulf that separates class from class and soul from soul.
Yes, it's enormously interesting. Every week, every day almost, there's some new change. We keep lots of records, dozens of gramophone discs and photographs.
Henry, Colonel Pickering, don't you realize that when Eliza walked into Wimple Street, something walked in with her?
Her father did, but Henry soon got rid of him.
A problem walked in with her.
Oh, you mean the problem of how to pass her off as a duchess?
Oh, I'll solve that problem. I have solved it already.
No, you two male creatures. The problem of what is to be done with her afterwards. The manners and habits disqualify a fine lady from earning her own living, and yet she doesn't have a fine lady's income.
You sound just like Mrs. Pierce, Mother. Well, there's no use complaining. The thing is done.
We'll do what's right.
Let's take her to that Shakespeare exhibition down at Earl's Court.
Yes, let's. Her remarks will be delicious.
And she'll mimic all the people for us when we get home.
Ripping.
Oh, men. Men. Men.
Just you wait, Henry Higgins, just you wait. You'll be sorry, but your tears will be too late. She'll be gone, it won't be funny.
Gone, what about no more money?
Just you wait, Henry Higgins, just you wait. What do you think will happen to Eliza?
Well, what happened to the statue in Pygmalian?
Let's watch and see.
Play within a play, this feels like Shakespeare.
All the world's a stage.
Pygmalion, how are forever sculpting and scraping? May we frolic and play. If only for a moment, let us run away. The statue will not stray.
But lady, I have seen you affected in your feminine mind, afflicted with wickedness and vice. And so without a partner, I choose to sculpt the white ivory, and I do so happily.
With wondrous art and wondrous skill, I do agree.
Stop your flattery.
But no woman so perfect is able to be born.
That may be say, and yet I do love her, for she is in the image of a true maiden, with modesty and heart.
What are these?
Dear gifts in 1,000 colors that I lay at her feet.
And these? Why does thou waste these precious baubles on a piece of stone?
She is not stone to me. I give her my words, my compliments, my kisses. I give her my deeds and my time. She is my everything.
But she cannot give you anything back.
She gives me what I need. No vice, only virtue. No sin, only sincerity.
She can only give you coldness and hardship. You will break against her. She is stone.
And so it was that the festive day of Venus, most celebrated in all of Cyprus, came, and Pygmalion made one wish.
God, if you could give your all, I wish for a wife like unto the ivory.
And as he returned home, he touched the hand of his ivory beauty, and
she seems to grow warm. She seems to grow soft.
Pygmalion, it is I, with blushed cheeks and timid eye. I wake tonight with the sky.
Oh, wonder and doubt. Oh, dubious and joyful. Can this be so? Can my own creation become flesh and blood?
Real indeed. The ivory girl can hear and see and feel all.
And wilt thou be mine?
Pygmalion, you have made me what I am and given me your all. I will also be all to you.
he did it! The perfect romance.
I think Professor Higgins could take a few pointers from Pygmalion.
But who is stone in this story, and who will be broken?
Now keep your head up, Eliza. Roll your shoulders back, like this. I don't think my shoulders do that. Keep your head up. What is this for? It's to help with your slumping and slouching. Oh, ouch! Keep your head up. Extend your chest out. Tuck your stomach in. Roll your shoulders back. Relax. Oh! Oh! Ouch!
May I help you, sir?
Yes, I'm here to see Miss Doolittle.
Miss Doolittle?
Yes, I met her at Mrs. Higgins' home event last week.
Oh, you mean Eliza?
Well, yes, I keep forgetting the new manners.
Well, you can't forget them around here.
Excuse me?
I'm afraid Miss Doolittle is unavailable right now.
I understand. Will you please let her know Freddie Hill stopped by to see her?
Yes, sir, I will.
Oh. Come on. Now, 1, 2, 3. 1,
right, Eliza?
My feet just don't dance.
Everyone's feet dance. Now begin again.
One, two, three, 3, 2, 1. Dancing, dancing, isn't this fun?
Perhaps a partner might help. Mr. Higgins, would you mind?
What? I don't dance.
Everyone dances. Now come along.
One, two, three, 3, 2, 1. Dancing, dancing till she's won. Music swells the whole house through. Our dreams are pinned on you.
Sorry about your foot.
I may have stepped on yours as well.
Oh, my feet are so numb, I wouldn't know the difference.
That was your foot.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Dancing, dancing, dancing. One last lesson, then we're through. Eliza, do this and we'll be dancing too.
How may I help you, sir?
I'm here to see Miss Eliza Doolittle.
I'm sorry, Mr. Hill. Miss Eliza is otherwise engaged at present.
Yes, Miss Eliza is always otherwise engaged.
I'm sorry, sir.
I'm sure you are, but not as sorry as I am. I've stopped here every day for the past week. Not one peep, not one glance, not one glimmer have I seen of her smile or sparkling eyes. You're not keeping her prisoner, I suppose.
No, of course not.
Do you know she plans on going to the Queen's Ball tomorrow?
I shouldn't be saying this, sir, but I do believe she's planning on it.
Then will you give her these? And tell her that I expect, no, that I wish for her to save me a dance at the ball.
I can do that, sir.
She's dancing, she's dancing, she's dancing, she's dancing. She's done it!
Oh, Mr. Higgins, you sure may not dance well, but you know the way to win a woman's heart. Those flowers are beautiful.
I didn't order flowers. Who ordered flowers?
No one did, sir, I assure you.
These are from Mr. Hill for Miss Eliza.
Mr. Hill. Who the devil is Mr. Hill?
He's the young man that's smitten with our dear Eliza. You met him at Covent Garden and your mother's at home?
That impertinent young whelp?
He has stopped by every day this week to bring Miss Eliza flowers. I think he hoped to ask her to go to the ball with him.
Every day?
Impertinent young man. Hasn't he anything better to do with his time than moon over my creation?
Would you like me to take the flowers away, sir?
No. Let her have her admirers. She will have plenty more after the ball. Provided you remember all that you've learned.
And learn how to dance. Colonel, why don't you give it a try? We'll now have a very brief intermission.
Shout hooray, just waiting for the cue to dance away. What a gripping, absolutely ripping celebration, one and all holiday.
Her Grace, the Duchess of Kerr. Reverend Sir Charles Brown Febley. Miss Elizabeth Doolittle. Colonel Pickering. Professor Higgins.
How do you do, Colonel Pickering? How do you do?
May I present Miss Elizabeth Doolittle?
How kind of you to let me come. Oh, not at all. You are enchanting. It is a blessing to see a new face.
Mr. Higgins, Mr. Higgins.
Do I know you?
Of course you know me. I'm your pupil, your best and greatest. I've made your name famous throughout all of Europe. You taught me phonetics. You cannot forget me. I'm Istlin Mikovisk.
Oh, you're Islan! Why the devil don't you cut your hair?
If I cut my hair, nobody notices me. I have not your imposing appearance, your chin, your brow.
What are you doing here among these swells?
I'm indispensable at these international parties. You can place a man anywhere in England the moment he opens his mouth. I can place a man anywhere in Europe.
Excuse me, sir. The Majesty's having trouble with Russian gentlemen.
Of course. I'll be there at once. The Russian diplomat pretends he cannot speak nor understand English. He cannot fool me.
Is that Mikovisk fellow really an expert?
He was my best pupil.
If he meets Eliza, we're done. Let's go home.
Nonsense. Eliza, are you ready?
Can I have a dance?
Oh, good evening, Professor. Who's this charming girl you brought? Is she a relation?
Not of mine, no.
She has a faraway look as if she's always lived in a garden.
So she has a garden of sorts.
There is one thing I've observed about the English Duchess.
And that is? Oh.
He introduced himself as your pupil.
Is he any good?
He can learn any language in a fortnight. Knows dozens of them. The sure mark of a fool.
The Excellency is interested in Miss Doolittle.
Everyone seems to be.
Could you find out who she is?
It would be my pleasure.
Ah, Professor Higgins. I would be delighted if you would present me to Miss Doolittle.
Oh, no, you don't. Can't you see she's dancing?
Professor Higgins.
Professor Higgins? The very man I've been dying to meet!
Excuse me,
Oh,
but
no, you don't. You're not getting away.
Oh my!
It's true, and one thing more. I found out all about her. She's a...
I don't believe it.
I heard it from Isla. She's a fraud.
Fraud?
He doesn't even believe her name is Doolittle.
Why?
Because Doolittle is an English name.
And?
And she is not English.
Well, if she's not English, then what is she?
Hungarian!
Hungarian?
Yes, and of royal blood. A Hungarian princess.
What do you say, Professor?
I say an ordinary Cockney girl. I placed her in Covent Garden.
Oh, Professor. That's funny.
Say, Pickering, have you heard what's happened? We've done it. If I may be allowed the honor.
We could have danced all night. We could have danced all night.
But my feet are crying no more.
We could have spread our wings and done 1,000 things.
I've heard all this before. Is the show over?
Of course not, silly. We just had intermission.
But this play is getting epically long.
That's because we just got done with the ball scene. And ball scenes are the worst. Everyone has to have a line. And you have to choreograph all of that dancing. Besides that, everyone backstage has to change their costume. Trust me, we are lucky to be out here.
Stall, stall, stall. I like improv, but not that much.
Are you ready? No, wait, zip me up! Grab that hat! Get out of my way!
Okay, we're done.
I'm gonna go sit down.
I say, Mrs. Pierce will row if we leave these things lying about.
I'll chuck them over the banisters in the halls. She'll find them in the morning and put them to rest.
Well, I feel a bit tired. It's been a long day. But Eliza did the trick in something to spare. Were you nervous? I was. Eliza did not seem a bit nervous.
Oh, she wasn't nervous. The whole thing has been a bore.
Oh, come. The ball and your former pupil were frightfully exciting.
Oh, yes. For the first 3 minutes. But then, when I saw we were going to win hands down, I tell you, Pickering, never again. No more artificial duchesses. The whole thing has been a bore.
I was quite frightened once or twice because Eliza was doing it so well. You see, lots of the real people can't do it at all. They're such fools. They think that style comes naturally to people in their position, and so they never learn.
Yes, the silly people don't know their own silly business. Well, it's all over now. But at last, I can go to bed without dreading tomorrow.
Well, I think I shall turn in too. Still, it's been a great occasion, a triumph for you. Good night.
Good night. Eliza, put out the lights and tell Mrs. Pierce not to bring me coffee in the morning. I'll take tea.
Somewhere there's happiness. To find it, I've often tried. Life is a race, a wild goose chase. Is the world to blame? Or
Presumptuous insect, I won it. What did you throw my shoes and slippers at me for?
because I wanted to hurt you, you selfish brute! What's to become of me?
What does it matter what's to become of you? How should I know what's to become of you?
You don't care. I know you don't care. Not so much as them slippers.
Those slippers.
Those slippers! No, I didn't think it mattered anymore.
I suppose it's natural to feel anxious after the ball, but that's all over now. There's nothing more to worry about.
No, nothing more for you to worry about.
You go to bed like a good girl and sleep it off. Have a good cry and say your prayers. That ought to help. You're free and can do whatever you like.
Free? Free to do what? Free to become what? Free to go back to what I was. No, I am not free to do that.
So that's what's troubling you, is it? I suppose you won't have too much trouble. You might marry, I suppose. Most men are the marrying sort, and you're not all that by looking. Sometimes, not now, of course, when you've been crying and looked the very devil, but at other times, you're what I might call attractive. I'm sure my mother can find some chap or other who'd do the trick nicely.
We were above that in Tottenham Court Road.
What do you mean?
I sold flowers. I didn't sell myself. Now you've turned me into a lady. I am fit to sell nothing. Nothing else.
Don't insult human relations by dragging buying and selling into this. Come, it'll be all right. Don't you fuss. Devilishly sleepy. I came down here for something. Remember what it
Your
was.
shoes.
Thank you.
Excuse me, ma'am. Mr. Henry's downstairs with Colonel Pickering.
Well, show them up.
They're using the telephone, ma'am. Telephoning to the police, I think.
What?
Mr. Henry's in his state, ma'am.
better tell you.
If you had told me that Mr. Henry was not an estate, it would have been more surprising. Show them up when they finished. I suppose he's lost something.
Yes, ma'am.
Go upstairs and tell Miss Doolittle that Henry and the Colonel are here. Ask her not to come down till I send for her.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, dear. What is it?
Eliza's bolted.
I suppose you frightened her.
Frightened her? Nonsense. What am I to do?
Do without, I'm afraid, Henry.
But I can't find anything. I don't know when my appointments are.
Good morning, Mrs. Higgins. Has Henry told you?
What did the constable say? Have you offered a reward?
You don't mean to say you sent the police after Eliza?
Of course I sent the police after Eliza. What are the police for?
What right have you to go to the police and give the girl's name as if she were a thief or a lost umbrella or something, really?
Mr. Henry, a gentleman wants to see you, very particular. He's been sent on from Wimpole Street.
Father, I can't see anyone right now. Wait, who is it?
A Mr. Doolittle, sir.
Doolittle? Do you mean the dustman?
Dustman? Oh, no, sir, a gentleman.
To your relatives. Send him up, quick.
Yes, sir.
Stay here! Do you say this? This hat! This coat! This is something you have done!
Good morning, Mr. Doolittle. Won't you sit down?
Oh, well, begging your pardon.
What the devil has happened to you?
This is something you have done. Yes, you, Henry Higgins.
Have you seen Eliza?
Have you lost her? Oh, well, you have all the luck in the world, you do. I haven't found her, but she'll find me quick enough now.
But what has my son done to you, Mr. Doolittle?
Done to me? He's ruined me. He's destroyed my happiness. He has placed me into the hands of middle-class morality.
I gave you £5 and I've never seen you since.
Did you, or did you not, write a letter to an old black in America that was donating $5 million to a moral reform societies?
Ezra D. Wannafeller?
Did you or did you not write to him saying that the most original moralist in England, to the best of your knowledge, was one Alfred Doolittle?
I remember making some silly joke of the sort after your last visit.
Oh, well, you might call it silly joking. You know, he leaves me 3,000 a year. He's making a gentleman out of me. Who asked him to make a gentleman out of me? I was happy. I was free. Now I'm tied neck and heels, and everybody touches me for money. You know, a year ago, I had a relative in the world, except for 2 or 3 that wouldn't talk to me. Now, I've got 50, and not a decent week's wage among the lot of them. The doctors, they used to throw me out of the hospital before I could stand on my 2 feet and nothing to pay. Now they find out that I'm not a healthy man. And they have to look after me twice a day, or else I'll die. I have to live for others, and not myself. That is middle-class morality.
Mr. Doolittle, you mustn't suffer all this if you are really in earnest. No one can force you to accept, you can repudiate it.
Well, that's the tragedy of it, Mom. It's easy to say, chuck it. Except I haven't the nerve. Which one of us does?
Well, I'm glad to see that you're not going to make any foolish decisions, Mr. Doolittle. For you can provide for Eliza now.
He can't provide for Eliza. He shan't provide for Eliza. I paid £5 for her. Doolittle, if you're an honest man or a rogue.
A little bit of both, Henry. Like the rest of us, a little bit of both.
If you really want to know where Eliza is, she's upstairs.
Upstairs?
Yes.
I shall jolly well fetch her down.
Henry! Sit down and listen to me.
Very well. But you might have told me this half an hour ago.
Eliza came to me this morning.
But why?
I think I know pretty well what you did. She's naturally rather affectionate. Don't you think, Mr. Doolittle?
Aye, very tender-hearted. She takes after me.
Just so. She did this wonderful thing for you, Henry. And without making a single mistake. And you didn't thank her, or admire her, or tell her how splendid she'd been. And you were surprised when she threw your slippers at you. I should have thrown the fire irons at you.
Perhaps we were a bit inconsiderate. Is she very angry?
If you promise to behave yourselves, I'll ask her to come down.
Oh, very well. Pick, behave yourself. Let us put on our Sunday best manners for this creature we picked up out of the gutter.
Remember your promise, Henry. Mr. Doolittle, will you be so good as to step out onto the balcony for a moment? I don't want to shock Eliza with your news until she's made up with these two, for want of a better word, gentlemen. Would you mind?
As you wish.
Now, Henry, be good. Go upstairs and ask Miss Doolittle to come down, please.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you do, Professor Higgins? Are you quite well?
Don't play that game with me. I taught it to you.
Very nicely put indeed, Henry. No woman could resist such an invitation.
You let her alone, Mother. You will soon see whether there is a thought in that girl's head or a word in her mouth that I have not put there. I tell you, I have created this thing out of the scorched cabbage leaves of Covent Garden. And now, she pretends to play the fine lady with me.
Oh, I am only a squashed cabbage leaf.
Now, Higgins, you know that isn't true.
Oh, Colonel, I should be very unhappy if you forgot me.
It's very kind of you to say so, Miss Doolittle.
It's not because you paid for my dresses. I know you are generous to everybody. But it is from you that I learned really nice manners. And that is what makes one a lady, isn't it?
It is, but Henry taught you to speak, and I couldn't have done that, you know.
Oh, of course. That is his profession. It is just like learning to dance in the fashionable way. Nothing else to it. But you know what began my real education?
What?
You. You showed me that you felt and thought as if I was something more than a scullery maid. You see, the difference between a flower girl and a lady is not how she acts, but how she is treated. I shall always be a flower girl to Professor Higgins, because he always treats me as a flower girl, and always will. But I know I can always be a lady to you, because you always treated me as a lady, and always will.
But you are coming back to Wilbur Street, aren't you? You'll forgive Henry.
No, I have learnt my lessons. Besides, I don't think I could utter one of those old sounds, even if I tried.
Oh, really?
Hello, Eliza.
Whoa!
Ha! Ha! Ow! Ha! Ha!
Hello, Eliza. I've come into some money. It ain't my fault. But I'm dressed up something special today. I'm going over to St. George's Hanover Square. The stepmother's gonna marry me. Middle-class morality claims its victims. Won't you put on your hat and see me off? And I'm calm and nervous about the ceremony.
May I come also, Mr. Doolittle? I should be very sorry indeed to miss your wedding.
Oh, of course. Your moral fortitude will help get me through this dark night.
Are you ready, Eliza? Quite. Is the professor coming?
Certainly not. He can't behave himself in church. He remarks out loud all the time on the clergyman's pronunciation.
Well then, I shall not be seeing you again. Goodbye.
I'm afraid you've spoiled that girl, Henry.
Eliza, do come back to us and forgive Henry.
Oh, don't bother. Goodbye. them clean up nicely.
Real nice.
Thank you, gents. Oh! It is so good to see you, ladies.
Ladies? We ain't no ladies.
Every girl is a lady, as long as someone is willing to treat her as one. And today you're all ladies to me.
Go on.
I would like to buy a flower from each of you to present my future stepmother with a bouquet for her special day.
I can give you change, miss.
Oh, it's still just Eliza. I haven't changed that much.
I beg to differ.
Truly you have, miss. You've changed for the better.
May it continue.
That is my hope, sir. Oh!
Excuse me. Miss Eliza.
Freddie! Miss Hill, Mrs. Hill, how are you?
We are well, and you?
Quite. We are just on our way to the church. My father is getting married.
Oh, your father, the...
How do you, ma'am?
Oh, hello then. This is your father.
He must be the one you learned small talk from.
Yes. Professor Higgins helped a little.
Well, I'm sorry we have to run. We're on our way to the theater. Don't want to be late.
Yes, we shouldn't be late.
Well, it was lovely seeing you.
Where did you get those flowers, Eliza? They're stunning.
These are so beautiful because they are late bloomers. They don't start out as much, but given time and patience, their beauty shines forth. Those lovely flower girls over there can show you the best ones.
Brilliant, Eliza. How much you know. Freddie, are you coming?
I'll catch up.
Go along, Father. I'll be there in a moment.
I haven't stopped thinking about you since the ball. I've stopped past your house 3 times today already.
Professor Higgins' home.
Well, yes.
Freddie, it's very sentimental of you, but your actions must speak louder than your words. If you care for me, as you say you do, you must do more. You must become more.
Do you believe I can become more, Eliza? I know I am a fool.
Everyone is a fool at some point in their life, but everyone can change. Everyone. Come and see me when you do.
I will. My fair lady.
Eliza!
Eliza, there you are. We've been looking everywhere for you.
We were so worried for you, miss.
Mr. Higgins had us all in a dizzy searching for you.
Oh, how I shall miss you. You were my confidant, my sister. You were a mother to me. And you were a friend. I would not be the lady I am today without you.
We didn't do that much.
Just a bit of soap and scrubbing, that's all.
The soap and the scrubbing did help. But you believed in me. You encouraged me. I will never forget you.
So, you're not coming back then?
No. Things have changed again for me. I must move forward. And seeing you, dear ones, has helped me not feel so sad. We all go through times of metamorphosis. It is the only way we can fly.
Fly, Eliza, fly.
I will. Oh, pardon.
Are you done? Are you ready to come back? I can't change my manners, and I don't intend to change my mind.
You know, Professor Higgins, I think I prefer someone who treats flower girls as if they were duchesses.
And I treat duchesses as if they were flower girls.
I cannot stay, for I believe that every girl has a right to be loved.
Love? What's the use of love? What can he make of you? That's the point.
I never thought of us making anything of one another. And you never thought of anything else. What I done what I did. It's not for the dresses and the taxis, but because I came to care for you. If I cannot have kindness, I will have independence. Cannot stay.
I said I'd make a woman out of you, Eliza, and I have. I like you like this. 5 minutes ago, you were a millstone around my neck. And now, you are a tower of strength.
Goodbye, Professor Higgins.
Goodbye, Eliza.
So, how did you like it?
Well, to be honest, I loved it. I lived, I laughed, I cried, I sang. What a grand night.
What a grand night indeed. But, I have to say, I would have liked a little bit more romance.
Narrator 1?
Yes, narrator 2?
I can give you a little romance.
Oh, narrator 2!
What a grand night!
He loves me. He loves me not. He loves me. He loves me not.
You stole my funnies. No, I'm not going to make any money.
Try and take over the world.
I'm going back